Welcome to Nerds Amalgamated, a podcast that covers the latest events in science, pop culture, and gaming.
I'm the Professor, aspiring game developer, sci-fi aficionado, and completely and undeniably a geek trying to take over the world. I'll be breaking down the news from tech to gaming.
I am the DJ, a humble nerd, a big weeb,
and a watcher from the halls of the multiverse.
Just kidding. Anyways, I'll be breaking down all things comics to movies to anime.
Join us and stay hydrated as we quench you with witty banter, unintentionally hilarious hot takes, and trivia more fun than a night at the pub, courtesy of Nerds Amalgamated.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Nerds Amalgamated. I'm with my co-host, the Professor.
Hello.
And BPM is off with the fairies, but he'll be coming very shortly. How are you doing, Professor?
I'm good.
Did you finish the fixing up in the end with your PC?
I have put it in a drawer, never to be looked at again.
You gave that up so quickly? Why?
I've been working on it for months. And I'm a bit too busy to dive into assembly code at the moment. So that's something I'm going to have a look at in a few months when I've finished some other stuff.
Oh boy, that's well, that's one way of putting it. That's fine. I've just started building started going back to Gundam building after months and months of toil and agony trying to go, is this worth it buying Gundam and building up? Is it worth it? And I decided I'm gonna do it. Finally, after so many months of building up cobwebs in the drawers.
Well, how much does a Gundam cost? They can't be cheap, right?
Depends on the so it can range from like $50 to $80. Some can go to like 90 to 100. But that's if you're buying it from your local anime shop, though. But if you go to Amazon, some would cost around $50 as well. But then you also have to take into account the delivery. God, delivery is a pain in the ass with the cost and all.
So the price isn't as bad as I was thinking it is. Because there's a lot of fiddly little plastic bits there, and they can't be cheap to make.
Nope, they can't be cheap to make, and it's very hard to get extras. Get the like if you fuck up one bit in the set, it's like nope, you can't get a spare. It's not like it's not like when you get a car, like, oh yeah, this section of the engine's kind of fucked. Okay, I need to get a spare. Nope. With Gundams, nope, you don't get spares at all.
Interesting, because if you break a piece of Lego, you can write to the Lego company and get spares.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
I suppose the way they're manufactured is quite different, though. Because the Gundams come in the frame.
Yeah.
So if they were going to send you a spare part, they'd have to print that entire frame and chop out that spare part, send it to you. Whereas with Lego, each brick is printed individually, molded individually, I think.
Yep.
So there's no sprue, there's no attached parts.
I would hate to be the postman for that. Can you imagine just being the post guy and you get something from Lego and you drive all the way to your house just to deliver that one block, that one tiny block that you've been aching for days and days.
Well, it's probably not much different than delivering a letter.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyways, so for our show, we've got should we pay the modders? AI is coming to your PC, and George R.R.Martin strikes again. And again. So, Professor, so I got a question for you. What's your view on modders?
I love video game mods.
Oh?
I play tons of them. Everything from quality of life mods that just make a slight change to something like the balance or the drop rate of an item, through to massive total conversions.
Okay.
What about you? Do you play with mods?
I haven't played with mods, to be honest. Like it's such a nightmare sometimes just to install a mod. But the closest thing I get to a mod is playing war playing Dawn of War, and I tried to install the Tyranids mod, and they were fun. It was fun.
Okay. Yeah, because Dawn of War is a quality of life mod. When I used to play that,
Hmm.
I would use a mod that gave you a larger zoom out distance. And it
Yep.
wasn't cheating because everyone in my group of friends did it.
Yep.
And if the enemies were in range of your camera, like weren't in the fog of war, then they'd show up anyway because of the way the view distance of the units worked. But we all used a mod that would let us zoom out further because by default the zoom only goes out a tiny bit and it feels a lot better to be able to zoom out.
Okay.
But more recently I've been playing a total conversion of Minecraft called Big Chad Guys Plus.
That's a very creative name.
Yeah. I'm not sure who the Chad guys are, but the mod pack is inspired by Stardew Valley and Pokemon.
Okay. Okay.
And
Interesting.
it's really easy to install them these days. Back in the day, I used to mod Minecraft with my friends, and it was a huge pain to actually install the mods.
Mm.
These days, you just drag and drop, or use a program like CurseForge.
So that being said, would you pay the mods for giving out some really cool stuff in the game?
I think there are some that I'd be willing to support. The bit that I think is complicated, though,
Hmm.
is some mod packs have hundreds of mods in them. So let's say you pay $1 per mod,
Yeah.
and as an example from the article that we've linked in the show notes, there's a modding platform that, CurseForge's premium mod system gives in-game creators a 50% revenue split with Studio Wildcard for Ark Survival Ascended. So let's say you're playing a total conversion like Big Chad Guys Plus, or one of my other favorites, Stalker Gamma, which is
Okay.
a massive total conversion of the Stalker games. Well, not really a total conversion. It's lots of quality of life because those games have not aged the best, but they also have so many fan-made add-ons.
Hmm.
So you could be paying hundreds of dollars for a mod pack, and that feels a bit silly. Yes, I like what you've done there with the show notes. You've picked out Operator Drewski's Stalker Gamma playlist. That's where I got into it.
Nice.
So anyway, these mod packs that have hundreds of mods in them could easily cost hundreds of dollars. And we're talking about things that might only range from adjusting the drop rate of a particular item to adding in a single gun to adding in dozens of new weapons or animations or something really involved that takes a ton of research, like Stalker's night vision mod. It makes night vision work just like real life.
Huh, okay. So what you're saying there, so it kind of enhances the game in a sense.
Yeah, that's the whole point of mods. And you can make a choice from whatever you want. You can go super hardcore difficulty, harder than Dark Souls, or you can turn off the enemies if you want to,
Oh
depending on what game you're playing.
Jesus. So that said, with this system, do you reckon it's a good system in to support the community at large?
I think it's a better system than what we saw, which this surprised me. It was back in 2015 that they tried to bring in paid mods for Skyrim.
Oh.
I didn't realize it was that long ago. People hated that.
Really? How so?
Yeah. Tons of different points, but there was exploitation of labor was one point because modders do this stuff for for free at the moment, but if they did it for the money, then they could be exploited by not being paid a reasonable cut of the paid mods.
Yeah. I'm seeing an article. I'm seeing a post from Reddit about it. They said the purpose of paid mods is to generate revenue for Bethesda. This is in r/Skyrim, by the way. Skyrim mods. It says it's a great revenue for Bethesda. There's no other answer as to question of why someone would buy paid mods. Bethesda has a captive audience in the form of console users. They have been conditioned to accept paid mods used through the Creation Club and Bethesda's marketing. They're also isolated from the wider community due to the restrictions of consoles, and this leads to kinds of FOMO that can be preyed upon for profit. What do you reckon? That's a good way of summarizing it?
Yeah, there's some other concerns that people had about paid mods.
Hmm.
There were other things about the quality of the content that gets selected to be a paid mod,
Hmm.
the the attribution to the author, and also that traditionally mods have been free.
Yeah.
So you buy a base game and then mod it yourself. You can mod it yourself. Someone else can make a mod and release it online. And for decades now, mods have been made by the community for fun and not for profit. And bringing in paid mods, which it looks like they attempted that 9 years ago in 2015. And then they've done it again just recently with the Creation Club for Skyrim. So it feels like it makes the community more adversarial against itself.
Hmm.
Because rather than sharing your mod freely and teaching and learning from each other, you lock it down so that you can sell it.
So what makes that idea different to what's being introduced here?
Well, this is an opinion piece, so it uses the example of Ark Survival Ascended and their 50% split on mods that cost from $2 to $15. I think paid mods would have to be a reasonably large add-on. And
wait.
I know developers are trying to push for microtransactions and cosmetics, but I don't think that, like, I personally don't buy cosmetic microtransactions, especially not in games where I can have mods that add in cosmetics anyway.
Hmm.
But I will pay for a DLC that adds quests, storylines.
So more worthwhile content.
Yeah, it would depend on the amount of effort that they've put into making the mod.
Yeah. But I do have a question though, Professor. When you said a very big, when you say very large, like, are you saying in terms of like the file sizes or just the how much content that's going to be added in,
The amount
or
of content.
okay,
So, as an example of a mod that I would pay for, I'd go for Fallout 4's Sim Settlements 2.
okay,
That is a massive mod. It adds in half a dozen new quest lines, and they're deep in depth with better writing than the actual game itself. They add in new settlement mechanics, new costumes, and a couple of new locations to the game. But it is a huge, huge update.
but with okay, let's say if they were to implement this type of paying scale for the stuff, you would have to have it very stringently managed just to see if the quality of the mods are worthwhile, wouldn't you?
Yes and no. I think having a review system would solve that issue. But we also want to make sure that there's no malicious mods getting in, especially paid malicious mods. Imagine paying for a virus.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which nobody's paid for a virus, but unscrupulous developers have tried to slip viruses into their mods in the past.
Do you know of any examples off the top of your head?
I don't know the mods themselves, but it's happened a couple of times with Minecraft, and I think there was one for Lethal Company earlier this year.
Ooh. I just searched paid malicious mods on Google, and and first thing that came up was in r/Starfield mods. There's one called Pure Dark, and that has threatened to add hidden malware to his paid mods if you pirate it.
Oh wow. Malware as an anti-piracy. No, that is no. Don't do that. Look, I get it. It's a paid mod. He wants people to support his work, but don't break people's computers because they pirated your game.
Yeah, he
I'm
said.
curious about what kind of malware it was.
I'll put it. This is the official IGN article about it, but yeah, he is specialized in creating DLSS3 and DLSS2 mods.
Isn't Starfield a bad game?
Hey, BPM!
Hey, we're just we're just talking about the should we pay modders?
Yes, if they're good modders.
Oh yes, there we have it. So
As I said last session, it's art, creativity, and I slowly support creativity as long as it's good mods, not like I don't know Thomas the Train or Barney the Purple Dinosaur. That's just terrifying nightmares.
So you wouldn't pay for the video game donkey mod pack of Skyrim?
No. I would neither play for a Shrek mod of Skyrim. Actually, maybe I would. That has to be debated.
We were just talking about how there are some malicious mods you can pay for, and one of the mods in Starfield has said that he will put hidden malware to people who pirate it.
Wow. That's well, at least he was open about it. I was like, you steal my shit, I'm gonna wreck your crap. But it's still interesting.
That's that'll be. Oh, sorry.
Well, it's
Sorry.
easy. It's an interesting way to get a payback on pirates.
Which that's an interesting point BPM has posted up in terms of piracy. Like you will get modders who will just straight up copy someone's work and claim it as their own, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll get money off, I'll get paid for it, even though it's someone else's work. It's still my work. It's technically my work.
Technically not, but it's but like that's got to happen. There's always people stealing other people's stuff. Like it's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
Like I know I've used references from other people's art to do my own art. So there you go.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a bit of Minecraft drama from like a decade ago, more than a decade ago. The mod, I don't remember its name now, but it was it was included in the TechIt pack, and the developer of the mod didn't like that. So he decided to make it malware in that when played in the mod pack, somehow it would detect the mod pack and it would make the bees explode.
Oh, what the hell?
Well, I've never played Minecraft, nor will I, so I don't know the danger level of bees.
I'm looking at the so there's on the Minecraft forum there was someone titled Technic launcher, is it really safe? And someone wrote, okay, so I searched up if Technic launcher was safe. Seen a post on here, and a few people said it was safe as long as you downloaded it from the site. Well, I've been had it before, and someone somehow gave me a virus. I deleted if deleted it, didn't have it for 5 months. I downloaded it on the 13th of November. This was 2015, by the way, so 2 days ago. And get it off of regular and got it modded to crash my whole computer. So I deleted it from my computer. But that was after I downloaded SimUcraft and Thormic Ascension on there. Yeah, that's
So those are two pretty big mods, and he downloaded them and reckons he got a virus.
Or she, yeah, she did it.
Yeah. I
And
would suspect it's more likely they got the virus from downloading it from a non-legit site.
Yep. Pirate site.
Because I feel like I would have heard about it if such a big mod as Formcraft was spreading malware.
Mm. Yeah, they got. That's just because people don't want to pay for other people's work. I guess they
the
want it.
other
They take it.
the other thing you also have to consider, like, remember a while back, some Ubisoft some Ubisoft director was saying we should we should have game developers being tipped.
No, that's their job.
That
Yeah,
yeah,
that was just a couple of weeks ago. He was like, but what if I play a game and I love it so much, I want to pay the developers extra. And he got shot down pretty hard for that because
Yeah. Like
there's no way that money is going to the developers.
no, it'll be going to the company
yeah. Do you
or the
reckon this is
CEO's pockets. One of the
that?
two.
That's true. That's with that said, though, you guys reckon this is sort of like tipping in a sense? It's not outright tipping, but it's sort of tipping in a very subtle way. Like,
No, because tipping is when you pay extra after you've already paid for something based on the quality of the service you've got. And I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
But in this case, you're not paying anything at all.
Hmm.
And they're setting a price. If the price is set, it's not a tip.
It's a price.
oh, just a correction, guys. It wasn't it wasn't the Ubisoft director. It was a Blizzard president.
I can see why you made that mistake, though. Ubisoft's pretty rubbish.
Yep.
Well, so is Blizzard.
Yep.
But yeah, and like game developers get paid to develop games. They don't need to be tipped. They probably
Yeah.
need a pay rise, but that's out of our hands.
Yeah, but this article they said that there is a like. Would you class a game modder as a developer?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're freelancing developers.
Hmm.
So they like as I said, if it's a well like if it's a good mod and it's like I mean when I mean good, I mean like real good mod, I'd say it'd be worth the extra pay, be like DLC more or
Hmm.
less. Or what companies could do, which some companies do, is they get permission from modders to download. The company downloads the mods and puts into a package, and they pay the modders for it. I think Larian did that with Divinity Original Sin.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
That's Divinity Original Sin 2.
Uh-huh.
It's one of their biggest selling games.
So with the modding stuff, so I was gonna I'm just reading the cycle there. The definition, some interesting lines. So like the definition of in-game creator has evolved, and there are some standout creators like the Professor.
Not related.
Ah, damn.
I know, I wouldn't mind a bit of that $54 million.
And then there is teams of mod authors like Feed the Beast, which are dedicated to making Minecraft mod packs, and even former AAA developers that have turned to build games, especially on creator platforms, to optimize their odds of success while reducing development times. So it's a pretty lucrative business, you could say.
Yeah, well, mods electronic gaming is like one of the biggest. As a huge conglomerate of what I can't say that word. The big group.
Conglomerate.
That's it. It's a big
Conglomerate.
group of people,
Yep.
and it's going to only get bigger because as we're leaning more and more towards tech, it's going to be eventual that it's going to probably be bigger than banks. It probably already is actually.
So let's say we're a company we're a company and we want to start a modding pricing company. What would be the criteria in your opinions to go, okay, your mod is really good. Your mod is eligible for payment. What would be the criteria that you would look into?
Depends on the game you're developing the mod for.
Hmm.
Yeah, it depends on the game. It depends on the amount of content the mod adds.
Yep. Because it adds it adds a lot of content. It's pretty much just DLC.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
But personally, if I'm a big player of MMOs. I spend way too much hours playing Guild Wars 2 currently. And just a more like ease of life utility kind of works with mods for that one, because you got to deal with so much crap on your damn screen. Like, so that's what I'd go for, like utility and ease of life type mods.
Hmm.
And again, like cosmetic stuff's always cool.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Professor? What would you add in anything else to that criteria?
No, I think that covered it pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I think modders should be able to be paid.
Hmm.
I'm not convinced that profit sharing with the game developers for something as small as a couple of dollars for a mod is the way to go.
Yeah, like it has to be big, compact, like big mods to get willing to be paid. It's like change the color of your character's eyes. Meh.
Yeah, but as I was saying to the Professor PPM, like, are you talking about big as in file size big, or content big?
Content big,
Content big? Yeah.
more content. Like if they doing like in like I don't know, they put in a mod pack, which is pretty much a DL, like what was I say, like more like a DLC, like a new area, new class, new race, whatever. That is worthy of getting paid. But if it's like small, somewhat insignificant things, they shouldn't get paid for, because it's just, I can do that in like a minute. The big
Yeah.
projects, I think they should be paid for.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Like the entire, I think there was one modder who completely revamped the entirety of Fallout 3.
Yeah, Professor was saying oh, it was a Fallout 4.
I think it was
Yeah.
one of them. He redesigned the entire game, and it made more profit than the actual game. Same with DayZ as well, from Armor's mod,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because DayZ is a big mod that was for the Armor game or simulation.
Yeah, I
So they
remember that. And then Daisy kind of got too big, and then
And it's
uh
now it's like its own thing,
yeah.
even though it's just a mod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a full standalone game now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it started off as a bloody mod for Armor.
Yeah.
Just add the zombies in it and all this other crap. I can't remember exactly what the mod is. There's a lot of shit in that mod, but a game worth playing.
Okay, okay. But okay, but would you be able to play it with AI in your PC?
Is it already in there?
Nah. That was a segue, guys. That was a segue.
Terrible segue. You need it
God
both.
damn it.
AI in computers. That's just got to be a thing. It's not got to be. That's no. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's starting to happen. I mean, with Microsoft recently announced a thing called Microsoft Recall, which
Is it
is
to recall their sale losses?
no, no. It basically is a recall leverages changes Microsoft made to Windows 11 to accommodate ARM chips along with neural processing networks inside those chips to catalog, understand as much as an AI can, and make searchable everything that can happen on your PC.
Entering the matrix there.
So this happens when you turn your computer on. It's not just into a place where you deliberately store things, but a memory for everything you've done and will do on it.
Yeah.
Which basically means taking a screenshot every 10 seconds.
That is, does that go into privacy laws there?
That's what I was wondering. Like, your privacy is going to get fucked.
It already really is. Fuck. Privacy is pretty much a lie these days.
Bro,
They're
do-
watching your every move.
Dog, I can see Edward Snowden right now just laughing his butt off, just going, "Ha! I saw this coming, and you all didn't listen to me." But with the recall, so it stores and analyzes all these snapshots locally on your drive, and uses the visual text and other information stored in the snapshot This AI feature can then create a timeline for your computer use and a searchable database that you can filter to find out what you need.
Yeah, see, that's dangerous. If Microsoft gets hacked, which is going to happen, actually it happens on a daily probably. But if it does get hacked and gets through, that's a lot of people's private information, and that could lead to a whole type of whole pool of problems.
So, I'm gonna. So does that mean we will see the rise of Linux?
I hope so. I really hope so. We've already seems to be a bit of noise about moving to Linux instead of using Windows when Windows 10 goes end of life.
Mm,
I'm definitely going to be one of them because I have a perfectly good computer that can't run Windows 11 because it doesn't meet the TPM requirement.
Oh shit!
And I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a new computer because I can't run Windows 11.
that is fair.
Ah, what's going to be even worse is, can you imagine Microsoft AI just storing everything that you've been doing, and then it comes back and say to you, "Hey, so this is all the stuff that you wanted. Do you actually want this? Like, why did you have to do that for me?"
Mm, may have to clean all your browser history.
Every few minutes, like, just delete your browser history.
I know I'm probably already blacklisted on Microsoft, the stuff I've looked into. Uh, all for research purposes completely.
Sure.
Well, I have to make D&D real for my players.
I can totally see Professor right now just tapping X for doubt. Every
Uh, what? They wanted to know how to make napalm, so I looked it up.
Oh boy.
Yep,
I,
definitely on a list for that.
I'm just gonna say this. I just use sites to watch anime. Wink wink nudge nudge.
So that includes hentai then, I see.
No, no, no. No way whatsoever.
I disapprove your truth telling there.
Oh boy. But moving along with the recall. So this isn't an entirely new idea. This was still developing in Windows 10 when it tried to roll out a feature similar to recall called Timeline, which was creating a seamless experience for accessing work while you were while you were on the Windows 10 device. Another similar to continuity works with Apple devices.
Mm. But still, like as I said, it's a lot of personal information that's got to be recorded by this AI.
Hmm.
And then if that AI or the servers that run that AI get hacked, all that information will be fed to black hatters out there.
Yeah. Although the other problem would be like it could okay, we're looking at it from the company point of view, but can you look at it from a law and order point of view? I mean, like, say for example you're one of the law agencies and you just want to look at this guy's details.
Yeah, like confidential contacts when they're trying to do an undercover operation and they looking through internet stuff for find sources and that type of stuff that could be problematic.
Yeah, this is absolutely going to be turned off at any company I've ever worked at because of
Mm,
NDAs and all that.
yeah,
Mm,
it should be. Like it shouldn't. When it comes to people, like when it comes to companies' information that then is recorded by another company, that
mm.
could lead into company espionage as well.
Oh shit. And that's a whole
Well,
big
that's white collar crimes there. That's FBI. Well, that's what's it?
AZO.
ASU. Yeah, ASIO or federal police type of department there.
Hmm.
But yeah, that type, because if they could just use a backdoor to hack into the Microsoft one and then to go into that company, information blog which is saved in that server. There'll be a lot of digging and deep diving into the server, but if they find it, they will.
You know who else is going to abuse this? I can totally see this now. Workplaces are going to totally abuse this in terms of, here you go, here's a work laptop for you. Use it well, and then when they and then they track, then the workplaces can track your activities with that computer.
Do you have no idea about what workplaces can already do with computers?
They already have a backdoor into other company computers.
I worked in IT. Trust me, we can see everything.
And if you go into even a wider scope when it comes to recording information, you look into Australian Defence Force matters. Everything's moving to the online, like the unnamed, unpiloted drones and stuff like that. And they'll be recording. They're doing like a scouting mission or something over confidential areas. That can also get recorded if they're using the Microsoft 10. But usually that would also be disabled in those type of things, or supposedly.
Yeah, I'm just not sure who this is for.
Microsoft, I think.
I really can't see any company endorsing this.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
it's got too many weaknesses in it.
I mean,
Now,
Google,
having the local processing is interesting though, because I could see companies endorsing that.
Yeah, because then they could use it to advertise to their consumers.
I mean, Google can
Yeah.
also. I mean, Google can also be involved in it as well.
Well, or Google already does that. Like you go into Google on like your phone or your iPad or your computer, they have like latest articles that would relate to your search history anyway.
Well, what I'm thinking is that having local processing of AI, which is what the neural processing cores on the processor do, could be useful for running things like LLMs, but I just don't see who would use Recall. I know companies want their own internal LLMs to avoid leaking information. Recall just feels like a massive security breach waiting to happen.
I agree.
But by the way, with the workplaces example I was saying earlier, another interesting thing would be, can you imagine the use of airless laptops?
Airless?
You have to explain that to us.
If, isn't I've heard that term before, an airless laptop or some other different name. Where it's
Are you
basically,
thinking of an air gap?
yes, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's basically just a computer that's not connected to the internet.
yeah. Can you imagine air gapped laptops being being a new thing?
No, I can't, because basically everything requires the internet these days.
Ah.
There are very few jobs where you can do your job on a air-gapped computer. And the jobs that you can, I've often heard of people having their air-gapped computer at one station and then the station next to it is connected to the internet.
Okay. Also, when I also mentioned with Google, did you guys also hear with Google's AI and how they went nuts?
Yeah, telling people where good places to jump off a bridge are.
Wow.
And eating rocks.
Yeah, I'm desperately hoping that most of these things are fake, but I've seen enough of them that are real that I can't believe it anymore.
Yeah, just a second, guys. Something just happened. Yeah, sorry about that. It was a bit of an emergency at my end.
All good.
Cool. Yeah, so where were we?
You're talking about the Google AI. I'm just looking at the 7 most shocking Google AI answers we've seen so far.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, my personal favorite is the my personal favorite is the, oh, how high of a bridge do you want me to jump off? Like, really?
Wow, some of these, what the fuck? People should eat at least one small rock a day. Running with scissors has health benefits. You want to murder yourself. Batman is the cop. No, he's not. He's Bruce Wayne. What? Use gasoline to cook spaghetti? The fuck? Okay, yeah, they need to fix up that coding. That is wow.
What? I still love the rocks one though. Like, how many rocks should I eat? Okay, general question: how many rocks should I eat, guys?
None.
As many as you want. I'm not going to stop you.
Well, Google AI, what they said was at least one small rock per day, since they're a vital source of minerals and vitamins.
Yeah, and someone tracked that down to an Onion article.
Wow.
And also the jumping off the bridge one. Apparently, that's also from a Reddit a Reddit post. Apparently.
Yeah, that is wow.
And the funniest bit about this. So in a written statement to these anomalies, this is what Google said: the vast majority of AI overviews provides high quality information with links to dig deeper on the web. I don't think a Reddit post and an Onion article are high quality information. Do you?
No, maybe I should try out Google AI just for the shits and gigs and say should summoning the devil be a useful asset?
And when asked about these anomalies, by the way, Google continued by saying many of these examples we've seen have been uncommon queries, and we've also seen examples that were doctored or that we couldn't reproduce. I mean, come on.
Well, they're unique, but I don't know how it mixed up whatever they asked and if that running with scissors has health benefits.
That should be an ignoble
Unless they
ignoble.
were, unless they were looking for the Weird Al album Running with Scissors. It's a good album.
Uh, this is a case of AI just going crazy.
Or it's learning.
Yep.
Because I know
Speak.
there's there's other AI type things like, your chat bot and stuff like that that are becoming to get a bit salacious.
Yeah, yeah. Interestingly, with Microsoft AI and Google AI going crazy, now Windows wants to come in with AI and they want to put this on every single one of your computers.
Yeah, no.
No?
They're not putting it on my computer.
No.
I could totally see the professor right now, just like if all the tech devs just go like, "Come on, professor, you know you want to update your computer." You just go, "No, yo, you're not having this computer. This is mine."
If I wanted to learn how high a bridge to jump off, I'll ask someone.
So with the AI PCs, so this was a report titled "AI PCs to usher in the next leg of PC market growth." The services. So this report says that it thinks businesses will be, quote, the initial adopters of AI PCs, given that they are primarily being marketed as productivity tools.
Don't know how it could be that productive with the current situation of the AI development. Still in its early stages, I think.
Well, they said, well, it is estimated, and the report also quotes, deliver a lower cost per query, lower latency, unlimited personalization, better availability, and greater privacy and security.
Well, that's contradictory.
I know. Dog, if greater privacy and security and AI, that's just an oxymoron at this point, given what just happened.
You're saying dog a lot today.
I know.
He's going back to his ghetto years.
uh, the developer event a week ago, Microsoft promoted its AI PC plans by using Qualcomm's Snapdragon X Elite and X Plus system on chips in the next generation Surface laptops and tablets, which is just 20 co-pilots plus PC Qualcomm has to launch. Though that's a lot of jargon for me.
And I don't understand a word of it.
Yep.
I'm a tech guy.
So, according to Morgan Stanley, AI PCs are estimated to comprise 2% market share for 2024, and this will rise to 16% next year and have 28% of the pie the year after, go up to 48% and increase up to 64% at the end of the forecast period in 2028.
I
So,
don't know how that links to the AI recall.
mm, so what do you reckon though? Given these numbers and projections, could you see this as could you see it the growth in reality, or you reckon this is just too soon?
I think it's just hype.
Yeah, it's like when everything with new technology always gets that
Mm,
hype from everywhere. But
yeah,
I like it. I think the whole science of AI is still, I think, in its baby step stage.
yeah,
All the current issues, I'd say they should not install any type of AI into personal computers until they know what they're doing and people are actually willing to take in the AI, because there's still arguments about how AI is bad and how AI is good. I myself on the AI is bad side, but that's because me. But,
yeah.
Troglodyte.
yeah, whatever. I'll stick to my 90 Microsoft 95 and all that crap any day. At least I know it works.
So one of the CEOs said that AIs were rather costly, and another person has stated that he was adopting a wait and see approach to hold out for more mature options, avoidance of early adopter cost, greater choice, and more solid case studies.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. A couple of analysts are saying the time is not yet right for AI PCs. One of them has told previously if PC vendors insist on changing and charging a premium for AI PCs without demonstrable benefits, then businesses will buy no AI PCs on or those with lower specs.
Yep, because businesses just want to save money. They
Yeah.
want to make money, not lose it.
Yeah,
Anyway, just so you know, we've been recording for an hour, so
fair enough, fair enough. All right, but yeah, it's a so AI. So I think we're coming to consensus. AI is bad,
well,
right?
it's not bad. It's how it's used,
Yep, it's still in
and
its
yeah,
early stages of creation.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
don't think there's been a killer app for AI apart from as a chatbot for lonely people.
Speaking of lonely people, George R.R. Martin is starting to become very lonely with the recent news.
Dude doesn't need it. He's got money. And he's
um,
actually a pretty nice fella. I actually met him in person when I went to Supernova
no
a while
way.
back. Yeah, got his book signed.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So, I have a question for you. What do you think of film and TV adaptations in general, just in general?
Depends. Like if they stick to the source material
Hmm.
as best they can, then I am fine with it. But if they go on their own situation or look at what's happened with all the current ones that have been going out there, and like the whole Witcher facade, all that crap, problems with I think there was problems with the Doctor Who's as well. Just it's all down to who they hire, their writers,
Hmm.
and how much they actually respect the books.
Hmm. So, the reason why I ask about this is because George R.R. Martin has come out and said that the film and TV adaptations of books do not live up to the source material.
I agree.
And he states it in his new blog post when he recalls a panel with Neil Gaiman, the creator of the Sandman comic book series that was adapted to Netflix, where Gaiman was involved in developing the series. And although Martin didn't comment on the adaptation, he says very little has changed since. And one bit he says was, if anything, things have gone worse. Everywhere you look, there are more screenwriters and producers eager to take great stories and make them their own. It doesn't seem to matter whether the source material was whether the source material was written by. And he
Mm.
uses examples such as Stan Lee, Charles Dickens, Ian Fleming, Roald Dahl, J.R.R. Tolkien, Mark Twain, Raymond Chandler, and Jane Austen. He continues on by saying, no matter how major a writer it is, no matter how great the book is, they always seem to seems to be someone on hand who thinks he can do better, eager to take the story and quote, and in quotation marks, improve on it.
Yeah.
Counterpoint: Blade Runner.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
based on a book, but the vast majority of people I've spoken to think that Blade Runner is better than the book.
Have they read the book?
Yeah. The book being Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick.
Okay, okay,
I'm not sure I have a favorite. They're very hard to compare.
okay, okay.
Like it depends. Like if they stick as close, they stick to the source material, though, and with like small tweaks in it, I think that's fine as long as they get the author's permission.
Hmm.
Because the original work is the author.
The author's dead.
Go
I
to
think.
their estate, like the whole thing with Roald Dahl and Wonka.
Oh yeah, I remember that story. Like, Roald Dahl hated the film adaptation, and he banned a lot. Like the state banned people from making the movie after the Gene Wilder version. I've heard something about that.
Well, I think what I've heard about the original Wonka film, it was pretty much an advertising for chocolate, just a brand of chocolate,
Yeah.
no actually relation to the actual story. Whereas the one with Depp
Hmm.
was more linked towards the source material. And the newer one that has come out, well, I think it went straight to video. I didn't even know it went into the cinemas. It just completely went in the wrong direction, completely ignored the Roald Dahl Estate's reviews upon that making of the film.
Yeah, yeah. So George R.R. Martin continues by saying, "The book is the book, the film is the film. They will tell you as if they were saying something profound. Then they make the story their own. They never make it better, though 999 times out of 1,000, they make it worse." And he noted by saying, "Once in a while, we do get a really good adaptation of a really good book." And he meant, and one example he says was the recent FX series Shogun. But I think he's got the funny part about it is not too long ago George went on by saying, "Oh, the toxic fans are ruining the entertainment industry." By saying like, "Oh, they can't, their criticisms are hurting the entertainment industry and the movies and stuff," and then he comes back to say this line. I'm going like, so do you understand the full cycle in the end?
No, I don't think they're related at all.
Nah.
No, I think the toxic fans part is basically the okay, I used to love your stuff, but now your stuff is turned to crap. So I hate your stuff now. And then they get then they get labeled as a toxic fan.
That's the whole thing with the whole meme that is toxic. Like everything is toxic one way or another. It's just the way the net works. But like what I don't like is when a production company takes a book or a comic or something
Hmm.
and just throws it out, flushes it down the toilet and says, "Now we'll do our own thing."
Oh yeah, yeah. My
Even though they've agreed that they'll stick to what the source material is upon the authors or producers uh contract or something like that.
yeah.
And then they just and that's what annoys me, that they go back on their word to the original creators of the product.
Yeah, yeah. Like the best example I can say would be The Witcher, and how that was an absolute shit show. With they even though they get the permission from the writer, the Netflix producers and writers went, "Nah, you know what? We don't like this original source material. We'll just make it our own and class it as The Witcher." Like, why? Why did you have to do that?
Well, I think the more problem with that company is that they lashed out at the people that were watching it, saying, "You guys don't know what you're doing. You haven't been in this type of point," blaming the consumers, when in truth that, like after season 2, the thing just was crappy.
Mm, mm. And it's also the other funny thing is like with George saying this, is the fact that his Game of Thrones book was adapted as well. And remember how bad that turned out in the end?
Because they rushed it.
They rushed it.
Oh yeah, they rushed it, and the fact that because if I recall, the directors had better deals based upon the success of the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones. They decided, okay, you know what, we don't like we're gonna kill the goose.
Mm. I stopped watching that after season 6. I think that's where I stopped. But
Yeah,
it just got bad, and
yeah.
and people that I spoke about said, "Yeah, don't watch after season 6." Like, okay,
But that's the thing. Like, it's interesting with George. Like, he says the adaptations they're not good. Yet his work was adapted as well. Like, and with with also with George R.R. Martin saying how adaptations are bad. Another adaptation that was good in the beginning but turned out horrible was Rings of Power. Remember that show?
nope.
Exactly. No one watches it.
Well, the same thing that happened. A similar situation that happened with Batwoman and She-Hulk.
Oh, Batwoman was just hilarious. I just all the drama is like keep on coming, guys.
Like,
She-Hulk,
I'm an avid reader of DC Comics, so I was like, what?
She-Hulk was like the other problem with the adaptations was the whole like self-inserts. Everyone wants to be a self-insert.
Well, it makes them close to meme, and meme is now a title that people take in pride.
Yep. And they just like, oh, I wanted to self-insert my fantasy character just to show people anyone can do it. Anyone can be the main character of this show that I'm pilfering off from.
Mm.
Uh anything you want to add in, Professor, or you're good?
Yeah, I don't know why you think there's no such thing as a good adaptation. People loved Fallout.
Yeah. But we're talking more like books to movies and stuff, like
Well,
Lord of
that's
the
just
Rings.
to know. Like games to movies are the same thing. As long as like if they don't, as long as they keep true to like the lore or the source behind it, people will respect it.
Hmm.
If they go off the route, off the road or whatever, do their own thing, but still label it as this is what it's based about, it just leads to controversy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay. I will admit, like, even though there are a number of terrible book to film adaptations, I will say Lord of the Rings is still the best book to film adaptation by far.
June's pretty good as well. June 1 and June 2.
I I I do want a full disclosure. I have not read the books, but I've seen the trailers and stuff. I want to watch the movies,
Then
and
get
maybe.
on with it.
Exactly. Stop procrastinating, DJ.
Oh, all right. Anyways, on that note, we'll be right back after an ad break, with this week's shout outs and the wacky movie for this week. So, on to our shout outs, which we talk about the highlights and lowlights that happened this week, during the week. On the 29th of May 2024 is the 70th anniversary of Dial M for Murder. So Dial M for Murder is the 1954 American crime thriller directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Ray Milner, Grace Kelly, Robert Cummings, Anthony Dawson, and John Williams. Both the screenplay and the successful stage play on which it was based were written by the English playwright Frederick Knott. The play premiered in 1952 on BBC television before being performed on stage in the same year in London West End in June and then New York's Broadway in October. Alfred Hitchcock's cameo is a signature occurrence in most of his films. In Dial M for Murder, he can be seen 13 minutes in the film in a black and white reunion photo, sitting at a banquet table among former students and faculty.
Yeah, Hitchcock, one of those. I think he's one of the good old school directors.
Oh yeah.
Like
Uh
I'm a big fan of his works.
oh yeah, he's fun. So Alfred Hitchcock had chosen a very expensive robe for Grace Kelly to wear when she answered the phone. Kelly balked and said that no woman would put on such a robe just to answer the ringing telephone while she was sleeping alone. She would answer it in her nightgown. Hitchcock agreed to do it her way and liked the way the rushes turned out, and he allowed Kelly to make all costume decisions for herself in their subsequent movies together. Uh, Grace Kelly was instructed to behave as if she was in a trance of some type during her scenes in the final act to make her seem somewhat detached and distant. So Alfred Hitchcock not only expressed a great deal of interest in selecting Grace Kelly's wardrobe, he selected nearly all of the props for Wendis's apartment. And in a television interview, Ray Milner said that he had flubbed his lines in a particular scene and ruefully apologized to Hitchcock. The director stared at him stonily for a few seconds and then said, "I wound it up, put it on the floor, and it wouldn't go."
Interesting metaphor.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
But yeah, I Hitchcock's he's one of the greatest directors in my opinion of the golden age of black and white films. I think he did a lot of black and white films,
Hmm.
and
And
he's a good director.
And here's an interesting one for you. Warner Bros. Insisted on shooting the movie in 3D, although the craze was fading, and so Alfred Hitchcock was sure the movie would be released flat. Hitchcock wanted the first shot to be a close up of a finger dialing the letter M on the rotary dial telephone, but the 3D camera would not be able to focus on such a close up correctly. Hitchcock ordered a giant finger made from wood with a proportionally large dial built in order to achieve the effect.
See what I mean? He's like, yeah, I'm the director. I do it my way. You producers can go stuff yourself. This is what I'm gonna do, and this is how I'm gonna do it. Has respect for the man.
Oh yeah, him and practical effects. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. On the 29th of May 2024 is the 15th anniversary of Up. It's the 2009 animated comedy drama produced by Pixar Animation Studios and released by Walt Disney Pictures.
Yeah, it's an animated film about someone's dying last day on Earth.
The film stars Ed Asner, Christopher Plummer, Jordan Nagai, and Bob Peterson, and centers Carl Fredrickson, an elderly widower who travels to South America with wilderness explorer Russell in order to fulfill a promise that he made to his late wife Ellie. Along the way, they meet a talking dog named Doug, that's D-U-G, and encounter a giant bird named Kevin, who was hunted by explorer Charles Muntz, who Carl has idolized in his childhood. Before the film's worldwide release, Pixar had granted a wish from 10-year-old Colby Curtin to see the film before she died. Colby had been diagnosed with cancer and was too sick to go to a theater. So a Pixar employee flew to the Curtin's house with the DVD of the finished film and screened it for her and her family. Curtin died 7 hours later at 9:20 p.m. shortly after seeing the movie. Co-director and co-writer Bob Peterson stated that Doug's lines, "I have just met you, and I love you," was inspired by a quote from a small child that he met when he was a camp counselor in the 1980s.
Hmm.
Even the short storyboard form, the married life sequence that opened up the film brought members of the production team to tears. And here's a trivia for the science guys out here. If Carl's house was approximately 1,600 square feet, and the average house weighs between 60 to 100 pounds per square foot, it weighs 120,000 pounds. If the average helium balloon can carry 0.09 pounds or 4.69 grams, it would take 12,658,392 balloons to lift his house off the ground. That is 20,622 balloons that appears on the house when first lifts off, only enough for 1,885.6 pounds. That's a
Oh,
lot of balloons.
yeah.
On the 29th of May 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norway became the first people to reach the summit.
Norgay, not Norway.
Damn, Norgay. So so there was 11:30 a.m. on May 29th. They were the first known people to reach the summit, and news of this achievement broke around the world on June 2nd. That was the same day when Queen Elizabeth II was coronated, and Britons hailed it as a good omen for the country's future.
I'm partial to the theory that Mallory beat them to the top.
Oh, is this going to be like?
Because,
Oh, sorry.
well, he had a photograph in his pocket that he was supposed to deposit at the top, and when they found his body, he didn't have the photograph. The only problem is they've never found the photographer's body, so they don't know. They can't find the photos if that would prove if they made it.
Oh, damn. The reward for this achievement, Hillary and Hunt were knighted by the Queen. Norgay, being because he was not a citizen of a Commonwealth nation, he received a lesser British Empire medal. Oh, that sucks.
Oh no, like you have to be a citizen of England to be knighted.
Or some other, or maybe India, because he said because if India was a part of a Commonwealth nation, so he would have gotten that too.
Well, what country was Tenzing Norgay from? Wouldn't he have been Nepalese?
Yeah,
Which isn't part of India.
yeah, which sucks. That sucks. On the 29th of May 1919, Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity is tested, later confirmed by Arthur Eddington and Andrew Claude de la Cherois-Crommelin. I so butchered that name. Sorry about that. This was the Eddington experiment, which was an observable test of general relativity, organized by Frank Watson Dyson and Arthur Stanley Eddington in 1919. The observations were of a total eclipse on the 29th of May 1919 and were carried by two expeditions, one of the West African islands of Principe and the other to the Brazilian town of Sobral. The aim of the expedition was to measure the gravitational deflection of starlight passing through the sun, and it was proven successful. Hence, you see the great solar eclipse.
Well, science is science, and Einstein was one of the big ones.
This eclipse, by the way, this was almost missed due to thunderstorms. By the way,
would not surprise me.
The photographs were taken in the eclipse, and this proved Einstein's theory correct and changed the ideas of physics. They were provided evidence of the sun's mass did shift away from the star's light will bend. From the findings from these expeditions, Dyson is quoted saying, "After careful study of these plates, I am prepared to say they confirmed Einstein's predictions." He continued to explain that it left little doubt about light deflection in the area around the sun, and it was the amount Einstein demanded in his generalized theory of relativity. So
Eddington proved Einstein's theory.
Nice.
Therefore, allowing us to be able to study the eclipse.
That's true. Anyways, what's our messed up moment for in nerddom this time, Professor? This is number 16, by the way.
The Guyana incident.
The what?
The Guyana incident.
Guyana. Okay, what's that?
Well, I'm not even going to let you try to spell it. I'm just going to give you the link.
Okay.
In 1987, people living in a town in Brazil stole a radiotherapy source from an abandoned hospital.
That's not clever.
No. They cracked it open and found a glowing blue powder.
Oh no. No.
They spread the powder around, wore it as makeup.
No.
I'm seeing that led to 4 deaths.
Yep, including a 6-year-old girl.
Wow. Oh no.
Yeah, see, human beings can be stupid.
That must be the messed up part, right? Or there has to be more to this story.
No, the messed up part is that a bunch of innocent people got sick and some died because somebody didn't secure a radiotherapy source correctly.
Yep.
I'm seeing the incident. They said consequent cleanup, topsoil had to be removed, several houses were demolished, and Time magazine has identified this accident as one of the worst nuclear disasters.
Yep, they had to completely destroy the houses, including any personal possessions, because they were just too contaminated.
Mm.
Ah.
My question is, why would they take it in the first place?
They thought it was worth money.
Oh, okay.
So they said on September 13th, the guard tasked with protecting the site did not show up for work. Oh, damn, why? Ah, that's so messed up. On to our wacky movie, which we explore the wacky movie that was aired on the day and explore the wacky stuff that happened behind the scenes. On this day, 1969, on 29th of May, 1969, sorry about that, Fiend Without a Face premiered. Oh, 1958, sorry. 1958, sorry. On 29th of May, 1958, Fiend Without a Face
Can you
premiered.
read?
I can read. It's been a long day. So, on 1958, the Brains were on a march again with the theatrical release of Fiend Without a Face. This was directed by Arthur Crabtree from a script by Herbert J. Leader and Amelia Reynolds Long. This starred Marshall Thompson, Terry Kilburn, and Michael Balfour. And this is the plot. A scientist's thoughts materialize as an army of invisible brain-shaped monsters, complete with spinal cord tails, who terrorize an American military base in this nightmarish chiller. Yeah, that's one hell of a story.
That's interesting. I wonder why they chose the brain as a segue into the scientist's thoughts and functions.
It's horror movies. Come on, what can what can happen?
That is true.
So, the noted science fiction personality collector and literary agent Forrest J. Ackerman represented mystery and science fiction pulp right along and brokered the sale of her story, The Thought Monster, to the film producers. The screenwriter Leader was originally set to direct the film, but being American, was unable to obtain a British work permit in time, so Crabtree replaced him as director. Thompson later said that the director showed up on the first day of shooting, looked at the script, claimed it was not the film that he had hired to direct, and said he did not do monster films. After a heated argument with the producers, Crabtree left the studio and did not show up for a few days. In the interim, Thompson himself directed the film. And later on in the interview, Marshall Thompson recalled the director didn't really want to direct the film, and he thought sci-fi was beneath him. Talk about talk about an ego.
No, maybe could be ego, or he just doesn't have the talent for horror
Yeah,
and sci-fi combination.
it
I want to do like a romance or action type thing. I don't know. I don't know any of Crabtree's works actually.
fair enough. Fiend Without a Face was made entirely in England. Its Canadian settings was chosen because it would appeal the American audiences. The film's visible brain creature was created using stop motion animation, an unusual practice for such a low budget science fiction thriller. And the director of these effects was Florence van Noordhoff, while the actual stop motion was done in Munich. 4 months after the release, Fiend Without a Face created a public uproar after its British premiere at the Ritz Theatre in Leicester Square in London's West East. The censors had demanded a number of cuts before its release, before finally granting the film an X certificate. The newspaper critics were still aghast with its horrifying special effects. Questions were actually raised in the parliament as to why British censors had allowed Fiend Without a Face to be released notably. Quote, where is the British film industry? What is the British film industry thinking by trying to beat Hollywood at its game of overdosing blood and gore? I mean, can you imagine being in Parliament House and that's the only thing you can discuss?
That's I don't know why it would have reached Parliament. Wouldn't that have been into creative courts or whatever they're called out of there? I don't know what they're called here either.
The reason why it was why it became so bad, it was because the audience a lot of them fainted after watching the movie.
Mm.
They were like some of them were sickened by what they saw on the screen. Some of them fainted, and some of them were genuinely were sick.
My
Were
God.
yeah.
Like, seriously, like, probably compared to these days when it comes to blood and gore, it's probably relatively tame.
And one of the actresses that appeared on the screen in a towel for a few seconds, but the studio used that image on the posters to promote the film. The shocked look on her face wasn't caused by the creature in the film, but instead it was finding a man in her bedroom as she walked down on the bathroom half naked.
Okay.
Oh, and one more just before we wrap it up. Publicity stunt somewhat went wrong in New York City. The Rialto Theater in Times Square featured a sidewalk promotion for the film. One of the prop brain creatures was displayed in a cage on the sidewalk outside the theater, wide for sound and motion. However, the crowd it attracted grew so large it was snarling pedestrian and vehicle traffic. The police later on demanded it be removed. And there's a remake in the process for this movie.
Oh, well.
Uh,
Stop motion
anyways,
is always fun. I think having a claymation, brain creature in a cage be adorable to put in my house with my skulls.
nice. Anyways, what have you guys got for the next few days? BPM, you do anything for the next few days?
Working.
Working? Nice. You, Professor?
Same.
Same. Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
an
try.
adult. I don't get to have fun anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
adulting sucks, but
I know.
it's what we must do.
I'm gonna try and finish off that Gundam I started and try and perfect it. But
Mm.
anyways, on that note, that's all we have for this week. We can find us on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and all of our lovely audio platforms. That's all we have for this week. Stay happy, stay nerdy.
Look after yourselves. Stay hydrated.
Leo.
Yeah,